You know, one of the things I was talking to with um, a bunch of my coaches the other day was about their voice, right? And here it is, you have a bunch of these people who are experts. They're literally experts in their industry. They are total badasses. They know their stuff better than anybody I know, and they are crushing it. They have put in years and years of dedication to truly master their craft. And so I said, well, what do you want to do? And they said, oh, I want to start a business. And I'm like, okay, tell me, what do you want to do? And they're like, well, I want to help people. And then they give me usually a 5-minute spiel on what they want to help people do. They haven't quite laid down their big viral promise. And then I say, well, I want you to imagine for a moment that you're going to start a cult. What would that cult be driving towards? And of course, this usually throws people completely off because they're like, okay, like my coach took a little crazy dive. I don't know if I'm going with her, but I got you. There's so many people out here that are just trying to start businesses. They're really just trying to get things going a little bit. That's what they're trying to do. But what if you took it one step further and you actually tried to create a movement? Not just a business, not just a little help to get someone somewhere. What if you were actually helping people get to a future based on their beliefs, their knowledge, their experience, and their actions? And you're helping them get to somewhere that is so powerful, so big. It's more than just, I'm going to help you straighten out your taxes. No, I'm going to help you live a fulfilled life. I'm going to help you be financially free. I'm going to help you have financial freedom from corporate colonization. I have something that I believe so heavily in that I don't think it's just a business. I don't think it's just a start and stop outcome. I literally think it's a movement that can change the world. I'm going to say that again, a movement that can change the world. Now, maybe not all 7 billion people on the planet, but it damn sure can change the world of my clients. Can you change the world of yours? And if so, then why wouldn't you start a movement? Why are you just starting a business? Now, someone told me the other day, well, the movement sounds just way too big. That's just, like you just don't went off in what? I'm just trying to pay my rent. So do you really think that you went through all that shit that you went through, all that crap that you've dealt with for all that time, just so you could pay your rent? You think all those lessons were thrown at you and that you took this huge leap off the corporate bridge to become an entrepreneur and that you have all this expertise and you're going to put all this stuff together and do your website and your funnel and your branding and go set up your Stripe account, get your EIN, pay your taxes, set up your LLC and all that so you can pay your rent? Is that really all you're trying to do? No. No, you can do so much more. And so one of the things I had this lady who was asked, she was interviewing me, and it was on a business thing, and she says, what is one of your favorite podcasts to listen to? And I said, oh, serial killers and cult leaders. And she goes, no, I mean that help you in business. And I'm like, oh, serial killers and cult leaders. And she's like, please explain to me why. And I said, well, here's the first one. Let's start with cult leaders. Cult leaders literally have no product or service. All they have is a set of beliefs. Every coach I know has a set of beliefs as well as products and services. And yet with these people, only with their set of beliefs, they can literally, and by the way, not bullshit beliefs, like beliefs, stuff they really, really believe in. They believe in it so fervently that sometimes they would give their lives for it. But they have something that they believe in so strongly that they have set their entire life up around it. And then they get other people to follow them that believe the same. And they are getting people to give up their entire lives, and they're really not giving them anything in return. They create full on movements. That's what they create, full on movements. Unfortunately, that's on the negative side. But what if you, being a coach, being a badass, did it, but on the positive side? What if you made a choice that, wait a minute, I believe in what I'm doing. I believe in it like nobody's business. I know it truly changes the lives of my client. I know it's not just about this one or twosie thing, that they're really going to be changed for the better. And I can really impact the world. Then why wouldn't you start a whole movement? And why serial killers? Because that's cult leaders. So why do I listen to serial killers? Because the number one thing I can tell you about serial killers is the reason that they get caught, like 90% of the time, is that they forget to do one thing: follow the process and trust the process. As soon as a serial killer stops following their process and they let their ego get in the way, they fail. If you go and listen to every single solitary person out there that has written a book, whether it's Grant Cardone or Russell Bronson or any of them, they will all tell you the same thing. I had hit a level of success, my ego got in the way, and then I failed. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? So the second thing that I am always very clear about is that I have to have a process and I have to follow the process. And no matter who comes into my wheelhouse, I have to stick to the process. I have to stick to the process. And that process must lead to a movement, not just a moment. So many times we are out here as experts and all we're trying to do is impact a moment. But you didn't do all the things that you've done to become a coach, to become a badass, to create a moment. You need to create a movement. I am specifically on a movement to help people who are actual experts. They are experts in their industry, and they want to turn that expertise into a high profit business so that they can change the lives of the people who need their help. See, the best thing about being an entrepreneurial coach is I know exactly what we do. Our whole job is that we see somebody else has a problem and we go in there and think, I can fix that. We are literally in this business to fix other people's problems. That's our job. That's what we do. And by the way, if I see a coach that doesn't have a coach and I'm like, no, you don't even believe in the product or the program enough to have one of your own. Are you out of your mind? So yes, I want you to pause for a moment. I don't want you to look at your value, your big viral promise, and just think, this is the one thing that I do. I want you to look at the big viral promise and tell me how you're going to change the entire world. I want you to create a movement, not just a business. I'm not looking for you just to do the work and pay your rent. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely positively think that anybody who's willing to go out there and chase somebody else's windmill and fix it should definitely get paid. Hey, the best way that you could help somebody who's poor is by not being one of them. That's for damn sure. The best example that you could be for your clients is by being a wealthy person and somebody that they can aspire to. No questions asked. I definitely believe that you should get paid for your value. That's not even a question. And the people who can't pay you for your value, well, that's the cost of entry into your movement. But isn't it about that time that you really, really looked at how do I create a full on movement and change the game? The full game. One of the things that I absolutely love about what I do and the people that I work with is, of course, when they first hear this, they're like, I don't know. And then by the time they're done with the first week of Firestarter, they're like, I'm about to light this shit up. And here's the thing, I want you to think of even the name of your business. So Dawn D'Amico, for example, has the Q4 mindset. Q4 mindset is her methodology, but it is also the movement that she's driving for commission-based sales pros. Then I look at somebody like Brittany Moeska. Brittany Moeska, her 100% job is like, how can I help people have mind and body alignment so that they can have a healthy body and reach their fitness goals, right? So and to have a healthy body, by the way, you got to have a healthy mind. I don't give a damn how you look at it. If you don't feel like treadmilling today, your ass ain't going to treadmill today, right? You have to have that something that kicks in. But that's not just an idea, that's a movement. There's this other woman that I'm working with right now named Rita. Rita's like, I want to help people suppress some of this racist bullshit that we deal with. How do I do that? That's not a product or service. That's a movement. I have a young lady by the name of Rashida who I absolutely adore. And her book that she just wrote is called 50 Shades of Red Flags. And what is she doing? She's like, people who are brilliant experts that want to get their authentic voice on paper because that needs to last a lifetime, a legacy, and way beyond them. I want to help them get that voice on paper. She's probably one of the best people I've ever seen do it. I know another gentleman who says, one of the things that I want to do, I want people to find who their inner saboteur is and be able to recognize that right when they get to that point of success, that inner saboteur is going to show up and it's going to shut them down. And his name is Dr. Agrios. And Dr. Agrios is absolutely amazing at helping people see how they sabotage their own success so they can find greater levels of success. That's not a moment. That's a movement. It completely changes people's lives. But where do we fail at creating this movement? This is what we do. We take our one little product, right? We take our product. We put our product over here on a shelf and we sell that product over there on that shelf. That's all we do with it. We go and sell that product on the shelf and it sits by itself. And that's it. We don't go, listen, you got this problem and so does everybody else have this problem. So I'm going to put you in a group and I'm going to support this group getting through this problem, the whole group. And I'm going to be here for you. 5 times out of the month, we're going to do this. Every day I'm checking this. We're not doing that. We're so busy trying to figure out how in the hell we could be lazy entrepreneurs, how we can make a whole lot of money by doing less, that we forget that what we're really supposed to be doing is changing the damn world. And you can't change the damn world by sitting on your ass. You actually have to do the work. You can't just let your ego show up. So I don't want you just to create a product. I don't want you to just deliver a service. Create a cult. Create a movement. Create something that's way bigger than you. Way bigger than you. Bring those people together. Have a common voice. Here's some of the steps. Number 1, know what your expertise is and stick to it. Know who your ideal client is. Like really nail that down. Niche that in. Treat your business like a private club for real, not like a public park. Come up with your own language. Your own language. You should have a name for your methodology. Have a name for your stuff. Have a name for your movement. Stop using these bullshit flowery words, right? Start having conversations with people for real. Don't live by everybody else's rules. It's your cult. It's your movement. You set the rules. And deliver like nobody's business because you are not changing a moment. You are changing a life. Don't forget, this is your God-given talent. This is your gift. You have been gifted to change the world. You have been gifted to change the world. Hey, I see you over here, Natasha. I want to say it right, Natasha Williams. You don't have to save up to have a conversation with me. Quite honestly, you could go to my website. You just get on the phone with me. It does not cost to talk at all. There are so many talented people. Don't put that. And I'm just going to say this for Natasha more so than anybody else. I don't care who else is listening. This is just for Natasha. Listen, don't let that negative thing, that negative belief that you have right now, you have a belief that says, I have to save my coins to talk to Donna. No, you don't. I heard somebody say that the other day, like, I got to save my coins to talk to you. No, you don't. You know what you got to do? You got to be able to pick up the phone. If you can't pick up the phone, you got to come to my house. If you can't come to my house, then you got to know where I'm going to be. If you don't know where I'm going to be, you got to get in contact with Doug. When you get in contact with Doug, Doug will get you on the phone with me. You don't have to save up your money. That is a belief that's shutting you down. And so many times we have these beliefs that we put in our way and they shut us down. Forget that. The moment that you hear yourself say, I have to have this to do that, cut out that I have to, kick that to the curb and just say, I'm going to do that. That's it. Do not let those negative beliefs get you from where you need to be. And don't let that, and recognize them in yourself, recognize them in your customers. This is how you create that movement. I hear people all the time that's like, oh Lord, I have to make sure that I get my coins together to work with Donna, or I have to get my courage up to work. I got to get my confidence, not courage. I got to get my confidence up. You don't need to get your confidence up. You need to get on the phone. You don't need to get your courage up. You need to get on the phone. You'll be surprised how many people just go to Facebook for free and send me a text message and we end up on the phone at 2:00 in the morning. You don't have to do any of those things that people, there's this thing in your head that makes you believe that you got to do all this other bullshit. You don't. You don't. You just have to make the decision. This is what you have to have. Courage and action. That's it. I was talking to someone today who, I mean, every time I talk to this particular woman, and I mean, we're talking about 7 years back, every time I talk to her, she has an excuse. She has an excuse for failing every single time. So I'm going to just take you through this real quick because this is actually kind of funny. So we get on the phone, we're having a conversation, right? She tells me that she really needs this program. I give her one tip, just one tip. She's like, oh, okay, that's it. Wants to get off the phone and run and go do whatever. And I'm like, hon, what are you doing right now? She's like, I'm going to go put that one tip into action. I said, I literally just gave you a crumb and you act like you ate from the buffet. I'm over here holding the goose with the golden egg and you psyched about the damn omelets. What you doing? I gave you one tip. Do you really think that one teeny tiny tip is going to turn around your business? Because it's not. Your business is way more fractured and broken than that. All you doing is putting a Band-Aid on a broken arm. You need to pause. This is what my program looks like. We have, and here's the thing, we have financing. We have 100%, no matter what your credit is, approval. So there's really no excuse. And I'm like, do you want to do this? And then she literally pulled a, well, my mama calling me moment. And I'm like, she's not ready. And she's not ready more so than anything else because she does not have the courage. She didn't have the courage. Then she was like, well, I really need to see it. I'm like, cool, get on Zoom. I'll show it to you. Oh, I'm not camera ready. I don't need to see your face. I need to show you what I'm talking about. When someone is showing up in your life with way too many excuses, that's not your problem. That's theirs. They're not ready to join the movement. That's not your problem. And I know I'm going to sound really cold here, but that's not where you need to be wasting your time. You don't need to be wasting your time with people who are not ready for the movement. You have a single focus, create a movement and change lives. That's it. And so some people are like, oh, you cold. So if they don't have the money, I didn't say they didn't have the money. I busted my ass to go and find somebody who would do 100% financing regardless of credit. I busted my ass. And what a lot of people don't know is how much that actually cost me. So I didn't know. No, it's not cold. I put everything in place. Now you don't have a money excuse. You don't have a time excuse. You don't have an effort excuse. What you have is a lack of courage and conviction excuse. And quite honestly, that is not my problem. If you are chasing the dollar, you're going to end up catching Washington because that's the weakest one out there. What I would prefer for you to do is dine with Benjamin and give and don't even worry about Washington. People so busy chasing Washington, they can't have lunch with Benjamin. Your ideal client has courage and conviction. Courage and conviction. Not confidence. They got courage and conviction. I am ready. Let's go. And the more time I waste on the phone with people who don't have courage and conviction, I know this sounds funky when I say it, the more time I waste with them, the less time I help my true people and my true followers get what they need to get. And you need to be the same way. Do they have courage? Do they have conviction? Because if not, they need to wait till they get some and then come back. So you don't need the money. You need the courage. You don't need anything else. You need the conviction. You need to make a decision that this is my time. This is who I am. And I am ready. If you are that coach and you're like, Donna, girl, you got the gift. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, I do have the gift. I am blessed with the gift, but I will tell you this is the package that it came in. So if my vernacular offends thee, then you shall not be in the movement, and it is all good. I cannot wait to talk to you, Natasha. I cannot wait. Girl, meet with Donna.com. Just send me a message and let's get on the phone because I'm available until 2. That's all it really takes. She just needs to get on my phone. I'm available until 2. People who take action, courage and conviction. You don't have time for the rest of it. Stop wasting your time. People say, well, how do you handle objections? I teach salespeople how to handle objections all day. Quite honestly, I don't need somebody who objects to my movement. You got some questions, I'll answer you. But if you object to my movement, then keep it moving. Anyway, I got to hang up with y'all. You know why? Because Natasha and me about to get on the phone. We're going to talk for the next 30 minutes, and then I got to talk to Carmela. So I have people who are ready to change their lives, ready to get on the phone with me. And I am ready to help them. My job, my 100% movement is how do I take these people who are brilliant and they want to change the complete lives of their clients. And they want to know how to do that and be the example of what those clients can aspire to. And they cannot aspire to that by being broke as hell. Just don't work. You need to give them something to be aspirational to. Next time I talk to you, I'm going to talk to you about talking about my ideal client is a single mom who's overworked and doesn't invest in herself. Really? So you really want to deal with people who are not willing to invest in themselves? That's not your ideal client. Stop going after people who are broke, busted, failing, and fucked up. That's not your ideal client. They're not BBFU graduates. Start looking at people who are like, I have achieved some stuff and I'm ready to achieve the next. That's your ideal client. Who are the people that are achieving something and they're like, listen, I got up this morning, I put on my outfit, I got here to that first level of Mount Everest. And I know you done been up there 20, 30 times. I need help getting to the next level. I'm talking to you because you are a guide. And I need you to guide me to the mountaintop. That's why you became a coach, to change people's lives. If you are not willing to start a movement, then please get out of the industry. Please stop wasting people's time and money. And if you're not ready to be coached, if you're not ready to change your clients' lives, if you don't have the courage and conviction to pick up the phone and take action, then please don't get on my calendar. There's no need in wasting anyone's time. Time is the most valuable thing that we have, more valuable than Benjamin. Get on the call, have the courage and conviction, and be ready to take action. That's all I have for you today. And Natasha just sent me her cell phone number, which is what I was waiting for to come across. So you know what that means, y'all? I am officially out. Bye, Felicia.